Alright, what's up guys? This video has been kind of a long time in the making, way too long, so I apologize. This is a video that I kind of teased and brought up 3-4 weeks ago on my Instagram. I kind of asked if you guys would be interested in kind of hearing my, what my body has or went through on my prep, weird things that I noticed, things that started happening to me, and then kind of my overview of the whole process. And so that's kind of what this video is. I'm gonna throw in some clips of shoulder day. I've tried filming this video like 4 times and just wasn't happy with it, and didn't really commit to finishing it, so I'm gonna do that now. And so I'll throw up some shoulder day clips here and there as I kind of speak over this, but I'll go ahead and jump into it. So for those of you that don't know, the previous 2 videos kind of walk you through it, but I just got done with and competed in my first physique competition. And so it was a 20-week prep. Learned a lot of stuff about myself mentally, physically, and obviously, physically was kind of the crazy extreme stuff. Mentally, I feel like I kind of grew through it. So the mental part was good. The physical part, I want to just get that out of the way. Like if you saw what it looked like there was nothing healthy about that. Like, it's nothing like I was taking drugs or anything like that. It was just, it's not healthy to be at that low body fat level. It's not healthy to be dieting that strict for that long. It can damage your metabolism really bad. It's not healthy to do a water cut like what I did. Flushed every ounce of water out of my body for over 24 hours. There's just a lot of unhealthy things about it. Losing that much weight, lost 40 pounds. And for those of you that knew before, whenever I was coming off my bulk, I had some extra body fat, but not a ton. I lost a lot of muscle on my cut because of how I did it, and I'm starting to get that back a little bit. It's been 3 weeks, but it's gonna take a while to get back to it. So I'll kind of jump into some of the side effects of it. So some of the weird things that I experienced, and some of this might be a little bit too much information, but okay, so whenever you're doing kind of a prep, typically you're going to be lower in carb, and so with lower carbs your body doesn't hold as much water, so you end up wanting to drink more water, which in turn makes you pee a lot more. And so one thing that was super weird, kind of getting used to for a long time, was literally you're peeing all day long, and every couple hours during the night getting up and peeing, and it just gets worse and worse as you continue to cut out carbs, continue to go throughout the process, and then kind of climaxes at the water cut, where I had to drink 8 gallons of distilled water over the course of 2.5 days and flush because distilled water doesn't have any minerals or anything that would keep it in your body, so it just goes through and it kind of flushes that excess water that's kind of staying in your body with it. So by 6:30 on the night before my competition, I had to be done drinking water, and I didn't get to drink again until after finals the next night, which ended for me at almost midnight. I got to drink water again. So over 24 hours, I was just flushed of water, gone. Super dry mouth, super dry skin, everything. It was pretty crazy. And so that was kind of a weird thing that happened. One of the biggest side effects that I think affected me most of all was just the irritability. I don't know if it's low carb, I don't know if it's low energy. I think the depletion, everything plays a part in the irritability. And for me, I struggled with it because I knew I was irritable because of it. And so a lot of times I could just be quiet or not say anything or whatever, but just the littlest things would just sometimes even just enrage me, and I would catch myself and think dude, you gotta chill. That's not that big of a deal. You can't let that affect you in that way. And I don't know, it was just super hard to kind of control and not like snap at people. I know there was definitely times like I didn't do a very good job of that, and I know it kind of like hurt. It even hurt some of my like relationships and stuff with friends, I feel like, because 20 weeks is a long time, and I mean, I obviously didn't have enough time with like cardio and meal prepping nonstop and weightlifting and I mean, all that stuff. Like I didn't have a ton of time to like hang out with people, but when I did, like I was super irritable, and I'm sure it was super difficult to be around. Like I wouldn't want to be around me at some point, especially the last 4 or 5 weeks, because that was miserable for me, and I'm sure I was miserable for other people to like watch and to like be around me at that point. So the irritability was like big time, and like this kind of like messed me up for a little bit. But my mom even said like at one point, like after the cut, and like I had my kind of cheat days and stuff, and was kind of like feeling good, feeling energy, feeling like full for the first time in 20 weeks, and or not 20 full weeks, but like you guys know what I mean. But she kind of said, she said like, I'm just so glad to have my son back. Like it's just been so long since I felt like it's been really you. And I was like wow, that kind of hit. Like that's why that's part of the reason I'm doing this like video, as far as, you know, is that worth it? I mean, it was a cool process. It was cool, you know, being able to take home a trophy. It was cool to, I mean, physically push myself to that point, but is it worth it to get to that unhealthy of a level? Is it worth it to put my friends and family through that? I mean, like putting thoughts like that in my mom's head, like I kind of, I mean, that messed me up a little bit. And I just felt super bad. Like I did try to make it a point, my last few days especially, to just reach out to anyone and everyone I could think of, and thank them for their support, and like let them know that like it's almost over. Like I want to hang out with them. I want to like get together. Let's go to dinner. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like thank you so much, you know. And I mean that doesn't make up for probably how I was, but I tried, and I still don't know if that part of it is worth it really. Other kind of side effects and stuff, a lot of stuff kicked in, like I said, the last like 3 or 4 weeks, and that was by far the hardest part. And you kind of think that, you know, maybe you'd get used to it and the last 3 or 4 weeks would be kind of coasting in, and that's what I thought, and it's not the case. It just, everything ramps up because your diet's getting harder, less carbs, more cardio, especially 2 weeks out, and it's just brutal. And you get to a point, literally got to a point where my body just stopped recovering. And so all the damage I was doing on it, whether it be cardio or just walking around or weightlifting, whatever, was just compounding on my joints, on my back especially. I was in a crazy amount of pain in my lower back and hips just walking around. Like the story I've kind of told people, some of the things I've told people are like, I couldn't sleep the last 3 weeks, especially the last 2 weeks. I didn't sleep because of, first of all, I was having to get up and pee like a lot, and second of all, like I was so uncomfortable in my own body because of the pain and everything like that, I mean, I just couldn't sleep. And that was really tough. And like little things like going to the grocery store, which you have to do a lot the last couple weeks, you're getting like novel weird things, like a scoop of natural peanut butter here, or like a few stalks of asparagus there, or like some green beans. I mean, just like different things that hadn't been in my diet this whole time that were thrown in to, like, because we were dialing it in and making like those calculated moves to bring my physique to where it needed to be. So I had to go to the grocery store a lot, and little things like that, like I would have to literally rest in here and work up the mental focus and kind of energy to go get in my car, then I would drive to the store, and I would have to sit in my car for 20 minutes and rest because I was exhausted from the mental and physical energy it took to get in my car and drive over there. And then I would sit in my car, rest for a second. Usually, like, I would even put on headphones and walk, and I listened to only podcasts for the last 5 weeks. I started hating music. I got to a point where if it wasn't like motivating me and something I could learn from, like I listened to business podcasts, basically the MFCEO project, and I've talked about it before, so check it out if you haven't. But I hated music because I didn't feel like it was benefiting me. Like, I just listened to things that I could learn from, benefit from, relate to, and that would feed me, basically. And anyway, so I would put on my headphones, listen to a podcast to motivate me to be able to walk through the grocery store, but I would have to wait for 20 minutes in my car to get the energy back up and the mental capacity back up, walk in there, immediately grab a cart for support, and lean on the cart and slowly make my way throughout the aisles and then out. And then I would have to like rest. Whenever I got home and everything and finally like got everything unloaded and put up, I would have to rest for a while. Like, that's how brutally depleted, tired, like all that I was. And I mean, it was tough. Like, it was something I've never experienced before. I'd never really seen before, because I mean, that's why I didn't film a lot the last 3 or 4 weeks, because that's how it was. Like you guys wouldn't have wanted to see that. It would be interesting to film, but I don't think anyone would be like really entertained. I would be able to like provide a whole bunch of value. So that kind of all that stuff kind of brings up the question of like, will I compete again? And I have to take all that into consideration. One thing I did do was peak week, which is the hardest week. You increase, or the week before peak week, I guess, the hardest week, 2 weeks out, you basically almost double your cardio, and your diet is the strictest it's been the whole time, lowest carbs, all that. And that whole week, I tried to every night, if I remembered, because my memory was really bad, like mentally was not in a healthy state. I tried to record like a couple minute like synopsis of the day, how I felt, things that happened, all that, and so that I can look at next time I'm thinking about competing and be like, do you want to get to that again? Like, do you want to put yourself through that and get to that point and look like that, all that stuff again. So that's something that I kind of did to help me whenever I want to look at that question. But as of right now, I don't really know. Like I said, mentally I grew more than I ever have in any other period of my life. But I have to look at the other factors too. It's not a healthy process. Takes away from a lot of the time that I could be gaining muscle in my youth, affects my friends and family. And even though they're not really a part of the process, it does spill over and affect them through me. But on the other side of things is I'm a super competitive guy, and I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to that type of stuff. And also I enjoy challenges, and that was the biggest challenge I've faced so far and put myself through. And so I think if there's a way I can kind of make it easier on myself or better on myself and the others that are involved, like, I think it's something I would do again. Especially if I can progress and work on the points that the judges had pointed out for me. I think I might do it again. Now it's gonna be at least 1 year. I'm gonna bulk for a really long time, put on some muscle mass, take advantage of my youth, and then kind of see where I'm at and reevaluate. But so that's kind of my answer. It's not a very clear answer, but that's kind of my answer as of right now. What would I do differently? So I would be, as far as my diet, I would be doing a lot more enjoyable diet. For the first 12 weeks I was put on a crash diet, and I love the dude to death, but I disagree with. I should have done more research. I'll say that, because I just accepted the diet that I was given as what was supposed to be done, and I put myself through way too much, way too quick, for way too long, and it was basically on a crash/starvation diet for 12 weeks when I could have been enjoying it, being a little more flexible, and overall my irritability would have been way less in terms of intensity. My energy would have been way higher. I still could have lost the same amount of fat or weight and been fine. So I think I would have changed that. I would have made my diet a lot more enjoyable, and then when I get to that 4 or 5 weeks out spot, I would have dialed everything in and been, I think, in the same exact spot, at least, maybe even better, because of the positive effects of mentally of doing it that way. I would make a more conscious effort to manage my irritability. Like I said, I tried my hardest, but with a more enjoyable diet and things like that I can control, I think I can manage it a lot better next time. And then I think I would be a little bit less strict on time. I think I neglected a lot of people and a lot of things that I wanted to do because I put this whole process ahead of everything, and there's a point where you have to do that. As far as a certain amount of time out, but it doesn't have to be that way the whole time. And I think I could have done a better job with that. But so, anyways, that is kind of today's video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. But yeah, it was just a crazy experience. And thank you to everybody that reached out. Like random people that I didn't even know, like reaching out and saying so many kind things to me. That was super cool. I'm glad that my irritability and how it was didn't affect you guys. But I'm excited to get into YouTube again, start posting regularly. I want to do some more informational workouts because I haven't done that in a while. I want to do some more kind of self-development stuff and just go from there. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. I'll be releasing shortly, and I'll have a few big announcements. So look forward to that one. Check it out, subscribe if you haven't, and see you guys in the next one.